All right, so I'm back for part two of the problems with Star Wars. So I had time to sit here while I was playing Gears 3 and came up with some other interesting, things that Star Wars has problems with. Like, part one was just like the, main shit that it's got going on. Toxicity, uh, story issues, and just a whole bunch of other shit. So for part two, I got lack of female leads, too many resource books. I'm gonna explain more on the OT reliance, lack of intricacy, games and shows, copycat and lotters, December release dates, lack of fantasy, i.e., force powers, fan self entitlement, and stuff being cut from the films. So, let's start with lack of female leads. Now, I know it sounds SJW, but it's really not. Honestly, I would rather have more female leads than male leads. It's just something I've come to really get used to ever since I've come across better character leads and whatnot in different shows from, present, past, and present. Um, a lot of secondary characters I've seen in other series, other shows, movies, and such have been a lot better. And I wish Star Wars would jump on that, but they won't. Because their main reliance is, you know, focusing on the lead and putting the secondary characters in the back seat for the most part. Now, they do get their stories, but they don't get enough intricacy of that. And what do I mean by intricacy? I mean, like, compared to, like, the only comparisons I can make is to, um, dump truck. uh, is Watchmen and my work. Because Watchmen, you get drooling a little bit. Watchmen, you get intricate, layered characters with depth and shit. And in my story, I take that narrative and narrative concept and blow it up tenfold. Um, Star Wars, they're lacking sorely in that department. Like there's some that are like that. Well, no, that's wrong. The only person that's actually like that is Kriya and Revan. That's about it. Just those two, honestly. Um, and that's really sad. Like, there's not a lot of depth to characters lately. Oh, and I miss that depth. No, stay on. Um, Too many resource books. Oh man, wow. Yeah, there's way too many fucking books. Literally, there's too many books. And I don't have a problem with having too many books. I like to read. I like to read sometimes. I have all the resource books of Star Wars minus the uh, Atlas and the RPG books. I'm not really big on the RPG books. I don't want to read those. I go through those for the pictures only. Um, that's about it. But yeah, the resource books, they keep putting out the same shit. When we have a 3 volume encyclopedia that sorely needs updated. Because that only covers from 77 to 2007, just a few months short of Clone Wars season 1 airing on Cartoon Network. You have the new essential guides, you have the wildlife of Star Wars, you have art books, you have the incredible cross sections, the visual guide, the visual dictionaries. Um, then you have the complete cross sections book. Um, You have another cross sections book. You have a visual guide to this franchise, another visual guide, the ultimate visual guide. And it's like, motherfucker. Damn. It's frustrating. Um but I'm not dissing that. You know, I'm not putting it down. I'm just saying there's too many motherfucking books. That's how I feel. There's just too many. And it's like shit. Now there are good ones in that mix. There's the Galactic Maps. That's a fun book. There's the Droidography. That's a damn good book. I like that. There's the Alien Archive. I like that too. And speaking of books, and this is, art books too. So going back to the lack of female leads, you have Women in the Galaxy. That was a good book. I'm kind of disappointed they didn't include other characters as well, like Kriya, Juno Eclipse, Mitra Surik, who was another one that I like? Nomi Sunrider, Vergere, Star Kai, Mara Jade, or she might have been there, I don't know. And a whole bunch of other ones that I can't think off the top of my head. But yeah, like they didn't include them. Like, damn. Oh well. But yeah, like there's so many fucking books. And then you have the books that tie into the movies. You have the novelizations and you have the comic books. Now, I've talked about that with Last Jedi. Last Jedi has a novelization, the movie, and the comic book. All three are phenomenal. But the novelization is a lot better, and so's the comic. Because if you were to put like all three of them together, you'd have a damn good setup. But that's just me. OT Reliance. Oh man. I brought that up in the first video because Lucasfilm relies too heavily on the OT. They do. It's a bad thing to do. The whole point of a franchise is to build upon what you started and move away from it. Not stick with it because that's what works. Hence, Jedi versus Sith concept. That shit's annoying as hell now. What do I mean by OT reliance? Vader. Easily fucking Vader. Every fucking... I think all last year was nothing... Like, the past couple years has been nothing but Vader comics. Vader this, Vader that. Vader riding a horse that breathes fire. Vader immortal. And I liked Vader Immortal. I watched the gameplay for it. I only liked it for the Dark Ghast, Four-Armed Rancor, the concept lightsaber, the new characters. That was it. Everything else was just basic. Oh, look at that screw job. Montreal screw job again. But yeah, like they keep building on Vader, and it's like he's not that great of a fucking villain. He's not. He's stupid as hell. Like, ooh, old Wheezy. Oh, I'm your father. Big fucking deal. It's so dumb. Do I get how important he is? Yeah. But the motherfucker is overrated. Sorry. He is. He is an overrated villain. There are tons of villains that are better than him. Literally. And I've named so many over a couple videos that it's baffling. They rely too heavily. It's a reliance on needing Vader for a story, Palpatine for a story, Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie, Lando. It gets old. It's like, move away from that shit. God. It's like, quit relying on old shit to make new shit work. Have faith in your fucking product that it's going to work without their help, literally. If you have faith in your product that it's going to work without reliance, you're doing good. So, yeah, lack of intricacy. There is intricacy in the characters, but not full blown like I'm used to. Most of that shit gets picked up by fans, dedicated fans, who, look at it and they go through a whole bunch of shit. Big example is Vincent Van Demption. Van Demption. Yeah. He did a 3-part series on Raylo. And I know a lot of people don't like Raylo, and I mean, I'm a Raylo fan, but I'm not hardcore about him. It's like, oh, cool, Raylo. But he did a 3-part series on that shit. And I got more education out of them 3 videos than I ever did in school. That's some sad shit. That's some funny ass shit though. And I graduated and everything. And still, I got more education in that video than I ever did in school. That's funny. He pointed out how there were so many similarities between Kylo and Rey's relationship to, oh god, I forget who he compared it to, but it was a lot of historical comparisons and pointing out little things in the backgrounds in every scene, how he approached her, how she approached him. It was a whole bunch of intricacy, and I love that. And not a lot of it was ever, you take that and you apply it to the sequels, and it's like, oh, wow, that's really deep shit. Whereas if you just watch it as a casual fan, you're like, oh, okay, cool. Or if you're a hardcore asshole about it, you ruined my childhood. I'm gonna burn down Lucasfilm. They betrayed George Lucas's thoughts. They betrayed his image. I want George Lucas back. Whiny faggot. God. But yeah, characters just... Star Wars characters just don't have enough intricacy like they should. Like, Kriya and Revan, they have full-blown intricacy. I love that. Anakin has intricacy because he has 5 different personalities. I've touched on that already. What else? I think that's about it for that. There's not a whole lot of intricate characters, honestly. It's hard to find good intricate character. Lack of games. Yes, there is a lack of games. Oh my god. The only games that they've had were the OT games from the 80s and 90s. Lego Star Wars, Republic Commando, Cotter 1 and 2, the Old Republic MMO, Lego, I already said that. Revenge of the Sith, Attack of the Clones, Battlefront games, Episode 1 Racer's Revenge, Rogue Squadron trilogy, Dark Forces, Force Unleashed duology, Jedi Fallen Order. What else was there? I think that's it. I think. I could be wrong. I don't know. I can't. It's a lot to remember with this shit. But yeah, they need more games. They need some. What they need is more games that, because there's been a huge gap in years for games with them and all that. I wish they'd bring back 1313. because I would love to have played that. That would have been a lot of fun. Um, what else? Definitely would love to play Force Unleashed 3 if they ever make that. Um, and, you know, whatever they got in the future and shit. Uh, and hopefully games without microtransactions. Fuck them things. Lack of shows. Now, I touched on this in the Versus series. Right? Yeah, I did. Yeah. Trek versus Wars. Okay. Brief overview of that. Trek dominated wars. Literally. Star Wars relies on its films to keep its fan base loyal. And they also relied on movies and books to keep them interested. And comics, that counts as books. And toys and all that good shit. But when it comes to the show angle, ooh, they suck at that. Oh my god, they suck at that. And that's not a diss. That's they suck at keeping, shows. In terms of not having enough programming like Star Trek did. Trek had a shit ton of shows. They had the original series, they had TNG, they had DS9, they had Voyager, they had Enterprise, and they have Discovery. They dominate like a motherfucker. Star Wars, they have micro series, movie. I consider a movie. I don't give a fuck. Clone Wars CGI, Resistance, Rebels, Mandalorian. Well, no, I can't really say it because it's not out yet. So they just have those. That's it. That's sad. That's all they have. Over 16 years, they've put out about 4 shows. That's sad that over 16 years, from 03 to 2019, they've put out that many shows. That's sad. They should have put out more during that time. And yeah, they had movies and stuff, but I'm talking about shows. Like, having shows is a good way to tie shit in, and I love that. Like, Resistance did that, Rebels did that, Clone Wars does that, Mandalorian does that, and the micro series does that. But seriously, like, what the fuck? Oh, and yeah, Forces of Destiny too. I forgot about that. Yeah, Forces of Destiny. I do like that. That's a good miniseries. It's a bunch of good shorts and whatnot, so it's a lot of fun to watch. I don't give a fuck about Galaxy of Adventures. That just, not my cup of tea. Yeah, it baffles me. I'm like, why the fuck haven't they put out so many shows? They should have put out more shows. I mean, they had a long time to do it too. Especially after the boom they had with the sequels. Shit, they should have raked in that money, put it towards more shows. Copycat and Ladders, December release dates. My next point. On to the sequels. So, every December has been Star Wars. Literally. Every December except for May of 2018 has been Star Wars. And originally, Star Wars was a summer release. It was always released in May. Always May. Either the beginning or the middle of May. Always Star Wars. Then they shifted to December. And I always wondered about that because it was like... Because at the time, it didn't really occur to me that they were doing that shit. And then I looked at Lauder's release dates, and sure enough, same dates as the sequels. Literally. And the standalone films, too. Solo and Rogue One. Yeah. Well, Rogue One, anyway. Yeah, like they tried to switch back to summer releases, which maybe that was a mistake, but looking back, I don't know. But yeah, they copycatted Lauder's release dates for December, literally. Lauder was released, each film was released December 17th, 18th, and 19th or 22nd for the third one. Um, and I'm like, okay. And then I look at the sequel releases. It's like 16, no, 15, 16, 17. And then Rogue One was the 15th, I think. So I'm like, that's nice. Copycat and can't even be original. I mean, it worked for Lauder in the past, but like, really? Ugh. I mean, it makes you wonder if they would have stuck to summer releases, would they have done just as good? You know, if they'd have stuck to the original formula or whatever, would it have done any better? Who knows? Lack of fantasy power. Fantasy, i.e., force powers. Yeah, there's a huge lack of that. And you're sitting there thinking, what the fuck are you talking about? They use the force, they force push, that's power. Like, and yes, I know they use force push and force lightning, you dumbass. My point is, they don't, you know, do other powers. The only thing they've done recently is Ezra Bridger as uh, Beastmaster. That's it. And that really sucks because being a Beastmaster is a rare skill. I mean, it doesn't suck. No, it sucks because it's the only, old force power that they've decided to write a character around and bring him to life. So, yeah, it sucks, but it's also cool. So it's, 50-50 deal. Oh, fuck. Um, yeah, like, I mean, yeah, Force Lightning's cool, but I wish there was more to it. Like, there's Force Push, Force Choke, Force Lightning, but I want more. I'm tired of just, the same build up with Jedi versus Sith where it's a cool lightsaber battle and no real powers are even exuded in the fight, or exerted at all, or shown off. A cool fight like that would be if they put in powers? Jesus Christ. Like, you never get to see, um, the full extent of a Jedi or Sith's ability. Never. You never do. Not on screen. Not really. I mean, the closest you came to that was, the micro series and Anakin in the Clone Wars when he was on Mortis. That was about it. And then a little bit more of that in Rebels, but that was short-lived, which kind of sucks. And then to cut into stuff being cut from films, and I'll jump into fan and self-entitlement. Stuff being cut from films. I wish they would just do what was done with the Exorcist the Beginning film debacle years ago. Just make 2 fucking films. Jesus Christ. How hard is that? And if there's so much cut out, release an extended cut. How is that? Like, how hard is that? Not hard. I think the reason why, and I was jumping into the Hobbit real quick. I think the reason why The Hobbit got so much hate was the fact that I think the studio told Peter Jackson he couldn't do 3-hour epics anymore, and that's why they were so short. Like, the first one, An Unexpected Journey was over 3 hours. Desolation of Smog was over 3 hours, and then Battle of Five Armies was just 2.5 hours. Yeah, and I do remember when it was called There and Back Again. But I read up on that because I couldn't remember why they changed it, and they changed it because um, Bilbo had already been there and whatnot, so the title change was smarter and fit the consensus of what the film was doing. And the head of the Tolkien Society agreed on the title change, so that was cool. Back to wars. So yeah, like if there's a bunch of shit cut out, show deleted scenes. Or, give us an extended cut or some shit. Why is that so hard to do? I'd like to see what was cut out of Rogue One. But, I've kind of lost interest in Rogue One, so. Now for the big bubble. Big bubble. Big hiccup. Fan self-entitlement. Yes, I'm talking to you, you self-entitled piece of shit. God. I demand that the next film, the lightsaber color be green or blue, and that they use Anakin or Obi-Wan's hilt. And that the person be a man, not a woman. Women are only made for sandwich making only. Yeah, you idiots. Oh my god. So funny. Make the next film about Vader. That's what everybody wants. Not everybody wants that shit. Ugh. Because the studio ain't gonna pander to fans. Fuck you guys. They don't give a shit. They're gonna produce what they want to produce. Because they have the money and the means. And shit, like, it's amazing. It baffles me that the sequels took over 100 mil to make. And produced 1 billion. Okay? Whereas Lauder did it under 100 mil. Like, I looked it up before all this. Each film was 93 and 94 million a piece. And the last one brought in $1.1 billion. That's impressive. Oh my god. That was fucking impressive. Talk about a payday like a motherfucker. Shit. Wow. Ew. So, yeah, fan self-entitlement is pathetic. And no, we're not entitled to shit. It's the truth. We're not entitled to anything. We are given what is produced. We debate it, we niggle it, we cry about it, we whine about it, we argue about it, we fight, we make death threats, and it's a continuous circle of bullshit. So just grow the fuck up about it. You're not going to get what you want. Follow my advice. Write your own fanfic. Simple as hell. You don't like where shit's going? Go for it. Hell, years ago, in a Star Wars group that I was in, one dude, I cannot remember his name, but he was trolling everybody. He had supposedly he had a script for a Darth Maul film. Wouldn't share any details. And I was like, I just want to see a sneak peek of it, just what it is. I was curious. And dude would not share it. I'm guessing he had a fanfic he wrote up and was too scared to show it to anybody. I get that. You don't want to be criticized or ridiculed. It's like, dude, it's just a fucking film. It's just a story. How hard is that? Just show the story. But, yeah. Anyway, back to self-entitlement. Yeah, we're not entitled to a damn thing. I've accepted that. I don't know why other fans can't do that. Shit. But, anyway. So, those are the problems with Star Wars. I hope you enjoyed this two-parter. I did, I guess. So I'm gonna get off of here, and I feel a lot better now. I'm gonna upload this and relax for the evening. So till next time, like and subscribe for thoughts and prayers.